All right, there we go. Hello everyone, how's it going? Team here, and it's Next.js livestream. I'm finally not feeling completely dead, so I thought, you know what? Let's just jump right in here and do another livestream. I promised you to do a livestream about Notion API and Next.js at one point, and well, Notion API has just been released into beta version a few days ago, so why the hell not? Let's do this. Hey, Mr. Reasonable, welcome to the stream. All right, so Notion, if you never used it, it's a very delightful little tool for managing your knowledge, basically. It's sort of like a wiki with a whole ton of features, nested pages, whatever you can imagine. It's a very handy little tool. And they've been promising API for more than a year, I believe. So it's been a very long time since they were saying, yes, API is coming, and we actually finally got the API. I am hoping that it's gonna be good. Like, they took this long, so it's gotta be good, right? Like, it's gotta be handy. So we're gonna have a look. As I said, I have not looked into the API just yet. I only know that it basically is released. I know that there's this website that is developers beta for Notion, and that's it. So essentially consider this to be my first impressions of the Notion API. Hi, Tennis, welcome to the stream. All right, the plan is the following. We are going to have a look at the API itself, and then we're going to try to build a Next.js website that uses the Notion as the CMS, essentially, right? So the idea is that you can go to the Notion SO, you can create, I am not logged in for whatever reason, you can create your pages, I guess public pages would be in our case, right? And then there's my test page that I already created. And then you should be able to render this as whatever the page or, website that you want, right? You could already do that actually. So there are unofficial packages that give you unofficial API access. But, as it's unofficial, it tends to be not so stable, not very fast, and so on and so forth. So I was hoping that Notion will release the API soon, and well, I guess I was lucky enough. So we're just gonna dive into that, have a look how that works, and see where we can take this within an hour or so of time of this live stream. So I already created the building Express.js/Notion Next repository. This is what we're gonna be using today. I'm gonna go ahead and git init npm init -y this thing. And this is our repo. You know what? Since we are now in the modern ages, I'm going to be using type module because then we can use ES modules. Since I don't think we're going to use any super special pack. No, wait a second. We cannot actually do that because we're going to be using Next.js, right? And Next.js doesn't like that. Okay. We're going to npm install -save React. No, wait. Next.js, React, and React DOM. I probably should have done the create next app, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. We can set it up ourselves. I mean, it's not much more complicated. We just need this scripts thingy here, and we're basically done, right? So we don't really care about everything else. Yes. And then we need the pages. And I probably should create a git ignore, otherwise Git will complain that there's too many things, node modules, and we want to ignore next is what I think, right? And we got these pages, and we got index.js, which is going to be export default function home return div hi. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for now, right? All right. If we do npm run dev, we theoretically should see our nice website. Please tell me my VSL is working correctly today. There we go. It seems to be working. So I had the really weird networking bug with VSL that appeared after the previous update actually, and it seems like I was able to fix it, but still sometimes, scared that the port 3000 for some reason just stops randomly working, and I have no idea why. Everything else works perfectly fine, but whatever. So we're not getting it, so that works, right? So we got our basic setup. Let me just commit that. Git commit basic Next.js setup. I'm gonna try to be correct. I guess, correct with my Git practices and commit frequently. But anyway, I probably shouldn't have closed that. I guess we also should just push this git branch. Yeah, right. It's the main branch everywhere now. I keep forgetting that. And it actually seems to be working quite well with majority of tools. So, you know, whatever. We can call it main. We can call it master. We can call it whatever the hell other tools want, so long as it works. I don't particularly care about the names of the branches. All right. So Notion API. Well, let's have a look. So what do we have here? We have examples. We have get started. Okay, getting started. Blah, blah, blah. Before we begin, log into Notion as an admin user. If you're not, okay, so I am an admin user. Create a workspace for free. Yeah. Okay, curl. I mean, I think question. So they are basically releasing an API, and it doesn't seem like they have any packages or anything like that, right? So it's like, hey, here's our REST API, and not even a Swagger definition or something where we can generate the client from. That is honestly a bit disappointing. Like, you would expect at this age for them to release at least some sort of a client wrapper around that, but I guess that's not the case. Let's try to have a look. Maybe it is no. Oh yeah, there you go. So they did release it 4 days ago. Okay, cool. So it's just not mentioned in the docs for some reason. Yeah, okay, and it doesn't have any links or anything like that. That is interesting. So wait a second. Is there no documentation for their official client? Are you for real right now? Make Notion SDK.js. Official Notion client JavaScript. Okay, so it is this thing, and it does, yeah, okay, so they released the client, but it's not documented, at least in the official docs, and there are no links to it. Oh man, okay, yeah, you know what, it's fine. We can figure out how it works, right? All right, so let's install the client. Right, so this is what we want to do. Okay, I guess we're gonna create components. And let's create a Notion folder. And there's gonna be an index.js over here. And this is what we are gonna, this is what we want to do, right? So we rewrite that to import. Okay. Notion token. Okay, so this should be server-side only thing, I guess, right? Because this token is probably... Okay, so we need to create an integration. All right, create, sure. Let's try, let's call it bx.js test integration. Upload image. I honestly don't have an image. Yes, it's associated with this workspace. Secrets. Yeah, sure, show it, copy it. I guess we will create .env.local. Let's call that, what is it, Notion token. Yep. Okay, I will have to regenerate it later on, but that's not a big deal. And we also need .env.example, right? And this should be here. And we need to ignore .env.local. Okay, so that's our local key. So we generate this thing with a key. I guess we can just export it. I don't know if we're going to be using this directly. I have to remember that I don't need to import this file on client. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. Yes, only available for the workspaces you're admin of. That is perfectly fine. I guess it does, yeah, so it does, there's not much here. You can basically say, okay, I guess if you make it public, yeah, there's gonna be, so you can do all stuff, but in our case, it doesn't matter. We only care about accessing our own things. Okay, and then we can, right, so what is the API reference? Okay, so I guess they just expect me to figure out myself what kind of methods they have there. Notion databases query. Notion databases query. Okay, that's gonna be fun. Page object. Retrieve a page. That's what we want, right? How do we retrieve a page? Okay, so databases, and then there is some ID, wherever that comes from. Database ID. Okay. How do I get that database ID? Database object. Okay, let's see. Database object describes the property schema of database in Notion. Pages are items for... Okay, so pages are included into database. I guess database is what they call the workspace, question mark, right? So like we have this Where's my page? This is my page, so I guess this is the page ID. I guess the YAMLite is the database ID, question mark. Okay, retrieve a database. There we go. Can I just ask for all databases for my user or whatever? Okay, let's... Do they have tests here or something? Because this, yeah, okay, these docs are leave a lot to be desired, basically, at this stage. I guess this is why they're saying it's beta, right? So they're like, hey, we actually finished it, but not really. Oh, great tests. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just hope this thing works. Generate get database update, send email. Generate random data, GitHub issue sync. That sounds like it might be helpful. Hey, Nayan, welcome to the stream. All right, so let's see what they do here. So this is an OctaKit client. This is the Notion client. Okay, Notion database D. Where the hell do I get that from? This is so weird. It's just JSON. I mean, technically, yes, it's just JSON. The problem is like, is there like description of the data structure or something? JSON can top level object, blah, 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 code samples, SDKs, pagination, versioning. Okay, so I guess we need to find a way list databases. There you go. This is what we want, right? So let's start with that. Okay, so I'm guessing there should be, then, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna say exports, wait a second, where's the Next.js docs? I always forget. Get server side props is what we want. There we go. Okay, so we want that thing, right? And I'm just gonna say data here. And we're gonna do a very, very perfect thing for debugging, which is JSON stringify data null too, right? So this is literally all you need when you're developing things. Okay, and the properties is data, and then this data is gonna be, okay, so we are gonna import, well, I guess it should auto import it actually. So we're gonna say Notion, yes. Thank you very much. Databases. Is there a list? What do you mean it's deprecated? Are you for real right now? Oh wait, how is it already deprecated? Please use search. What? So wait a second. They released the API for their platform. It's in beta and they already have a deprecated methods. Are you kidding me right now? Or maybe it's just deprecated in the SDK itself, question mark? You know what? Let's have a look at the source code. I am very curious. I mean, I guess we could just use the fetch API ourselves because it's not that hard, but like, man. Oh boy. Oh my God. What is this stuff? Okay, then. Yeah, sure. Some object-oriented programming going on here. Let me have a look at the chat. Some API documentations pre-fill documentations with your credentials in case the database ID if you logged in. That's a good point. Let's have a look. So where was the docs? There's the docs. If I open it in incognito window, and if we go to like query a database, and query a database over here, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same value, so it's just hard-coded. They don't really prefill anything. Okay, well, yeah, sure. Let's see. So the list, so they call it list databases over here, but then they call it search. Is this search here? Wait a second. Where's the search? Search param list deprecated. Use search. This request databases list method. So what does this search does? Update, retrieve, search path. Oh boy, somebody really likes object-oriented programming, and you know what? Maybe it's literally easier just to fetch it ourselves, or maybe not. I don't know. Question. So how do we do that? So you have to so okay. So it's literally just a fetch request with authorization bearer Notion API key, and that's literally it, and Notion version, right? So like, I guess, you know what? I don't feel like using uninstall a package that has weird docs, weird deprecations, and other things that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So instead, we are going to say, okay, get databases. I'm just going to write my own functions, right? It's just going to be easier. Send request, send, let's call it send, yeah, send request is fine. Okay, URL. And I guess we want URL and the body, right? In case we need to post something. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Okay, so const notion token is going to be this thing. And then basically what we do is we return fetch URL and then we send headers. So for headers, we need authorization bearer. Okay, we need this two things. Run away. I mean, on one hand, yes. On the other hand, the Notion is such a great little thing that I just want to try to make it work, basically. But yeah, this is not a good first look. Okay, this is going to be Notion token, right? And then we got Notion version, which is, again, this, I guess let's move it into variable, because like, how the hell am I supposed to know which version to pass? I have a lot of questions to this API, and I guess the biggest one is why the hell did it take them more than a year to build like 3.5 methods there? What kind of mess do they have on the back end? It's kind of terrifying to think about that. No, what is this? There you go. Okay. So, get databases, right. Let's see. So, I guess I can just simplify that into that, right? Because we don't really care about all the other stuff. All right, so what we do here is we say const databases equal await send request, and then we're going to say URL is, what is the URL? URL is this. Okay. Well, theoretically, return databases. Okay, so theoretically, that should be async. It should be an all with request. Hopefully, it could be stitching together loads of microservices. It could, but I mean, like, wow, it's like, still, what could take you a year to build an API that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 endpoints? 11 endpoints. Just think about it for a second. What kind of complexity are we talking about? It's just mind blowing. Like, wow, I would love to hear internal story on how exactly that happened and what exactly went wrong, basically, because I'm about 95% sure something went wrong there, right? And that is why it took them a year to build an API with like 11 endpoints, which is like in 4 categories or something, right? So they are definitely related, which is just mind-boggling. Hey Wise, welcome to the stream. Okay, let's see if that works. That does not, that returns an empty result. Why does it return an empty result? I have no idea. So apparently it's not an error, right? But it still returns an empty result. Okay, if you do a bad request, it literally gives you empty response, and then all the data was on CEO's machine. I mean, that sounds terrifyingly viable, honestly. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? So we are getting the databases, right? We're querying this v1 thing, and then so they have the versioning in the URLs, and then you have to send the Notion. Okay, what if I not send the version? Here's a question. Will it complain? Question. Will it just say no? Okay, so it works. And why is our mind being boggled? Because it took the people at Notion a year to build an API with 11 endpoints. Some of them are pretty much related and, do the same things. And let's just put it this way, it's not very good right now. Like, it's just not very good from what I've seen so far. And it doesn't return me any databases, so I honestly have no idea how to proceed from here. So, How are you missing how you seeing the Notion token? I mean, Notion token is my understanding what we got from the secret, right? Or does it expect me to authenticate as well? Because I just want to get the page, retrieve a page. It's like to retrieve a page, I first need to know the page ID, which I assume I get from the database, right? So this is, yeah, so there's a database, there's the database ID. And if we query a database, I assume we get the pages ID, exactly. Does it expect me to log in? Is that what's happened? So like you cannot query anything, even if it's like internal use only. So there's our access token, okay. Oh, so it does mention the client here. All right, there's an authorization guide. Okay, so I guess it does expect you to basically auth into your... Okay, so basically it's auth only workflow, even if you only care about reading, which is a bit unfortunate. Only one access token can be granted for an integration in a given workspace. Only the admin access. Okay, so yeah. So there's no access control or anything for the API right now. So it's literally just admin access. Oh boy, okay. I mean, I guess we can get the token manually, right? So it's not super hard. I mean, it's just auth thing. So how exactly there's the, I guess let's make auth.js, right? Export default function auth. Okay. Are you putting... Yeah, I mean, yes, the token is in the env local, so I have the secret right now here, right? But it seems like, so basically what it expects in the bearer is not the secret, but it actually expects the proper token, basically, right? So the authorization token, which means we would have to actually properly authorize. And I'm trying to figure out how we can... Internal, I used to integrate... Yeah, okay, so we are using internal, authorizing internal integrations. You can view the integration. In each API request, you send the token in authorization header. Okay, so it should be enough to send the token, right? So it says if you're using internal. All right, so I am overthinking it. Okay, so that should work. Now the question is, why the hell does it not return? Okay, so we apparently don't need the Notion version, which is great for us. I mean, it is the... So it's basically sort of the debug token, if you would, right? So for internal integration, it would only work for one specific workspace and one specific integration that you created, which is perfectly fine. And this is exactly why I am okay with just showing it right now, basically, right? Because you can't really do anything with it unless you know my credentials to Notion, which is a good setup. Like this is a nice setup. Now the question is, I'm not setting access and content types, but it doesn't seem like they need them. I mean, they return the results, right? It says objects list, and then the results are just empty. This is my problem right now. So it does return the results. They are just empty for some reason. Okay, databases allow users to create and manipulate structured data in Notion. Integrations can help. So wait a second, is that like a separate thing I need to create? Is that not a page? How do I, wait a second. Databases, all right, let's read about the databases. Intro to databases. Okay, I don't think the headers are the problem here. Okay, so, so databases are literally like the database instance that you create. Is that what we're talking about? So we got this test page, right? So if I just say, hey, /database, is that what, yeah, table, is this test database? Is that what it's querying? 1, 2, 3. That is there. Okay. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Fine, whatever. So we created that. Is that what it's gonna... Now it's... No, still doesn't return. Okay, let me just restart that to be sure that we are actually fetching stuff. No, I mean, I totally get the idea that, you know, I usually tend to miss on the API headers and stuff as well, but you typically get errors with that, right? In this case, it actually returns stuff. but it returns the empty results, even though, okay, create a database. Slash table, okay, full page or inline, yes, this is exactly what we did. Okay, I guess databases is not what we want then. Right, so let's see what other reference, I guess, can we like retrieve a page? So we can only retrieve one page, right? How do I retrieve block children? How do I get the page ID? Where do I get it from? I mean, like, let's try getting the page. Why not? Let's try fetching the page or something. Okay, page, right? Page, there you go. I'll leave it at get databases for now. Okay, so we need this page ID, which I guess I can just go into the inspect view and drag it from there, right? So I can go like inspect. And if we go to network and I reload this, I'll probably see it somewhere. At least this is my guess. Get spaces. Okay. So this thing is called spaces. And I guess spaces is this, right? So, and there's no API for that? Status code, I assume it's 200, right? So I haven't actually checked. Let me see. Return JSON. Let's do it this way. Status r status. Yes, so let's do it like this. I mean, we're seeing the results, so I'm guessing it's like proper. What? Whoops. Oh, right. I'm an idiot. That should be that. Oh, yeah, right. My URL is now invalid. Okay, but you know what? Let's see. So we are slowly getting there. So they have another concept above pages, which is called spaces, right? Which is not even in the API. So we see it over here. They have this get spaces method that sends my cookies and everything and actually gets my spaces, which I assume, so what is this? Notion user space. Is that the page or, oh, there's the pages, okay. So I guess the spaces is really, there's my 2 pages, right? So there's the page number 1, page number 2, okay. So they have the spaces, which include pages, which include blocks. We got the API for pages and blocks, but not for space. I mean, yeah, fine, sure. Get public, yeah, there you go. So there's the space ID and there is, where's our page ID? Owner, blah, blah, blah. Block ID, okay, this is the block ID, but this says get public page data. Is that our page ID? Let's give it a shot. Are we working now? Could not find, no, that's not a page ID. It's like a game of trying to find how the hell do you actually get things. Okay, but we now know, so we now know that this is our space, right? Name, yeah, okay, so there's the name, there's the pages. Okay, so I assume, but this is the same ID, right? So that should be, it says page not found. Test page, yeah, so this is ID, right? So this is the same ID, but it says page not found. I am so damn confused right now. Okay, let's have a look at the docs. Is there any special prerequisites or something to getting... Yeah, I mean, ID is kind of in the URL bar, so it's the same, but it's split differently. And if you look at the JSON response, they actually... where's the space, value, pages? So they use the dashes here, every X symbol, so it's like hashed or something, and here they just write it plain text. At this point, to be honest, the unofficial Notion API was a lot nicer to use than this. But okay, let's have a look at the pages object. So the page object contains the property values of a single Notion page. All pages have a parent. If parent is a database, okay, so you can create a database and put pages in it. So let's roll back my code. Wait a second. No. Let's not roll back this. So it was databases, right? It was this URL, but it returned empty result set. I guess it expects the database to be like on a top level. Is that the thing? Let's see. If we open that, if we say add page, say table. So yeah, table full page. So let's call it database. Is that what it expects me to do? So let's say section 1, section 2, like whatever, section 3. Tag, yeah, that's even fine. I don't even care about that, right? So no, it's still empty. How the hell? So status is 200, so it does get the results correctly. Oh, Jesus Christ, how do we get that is not going well. Block objects. Maybe we can request the page as a block object. Is that a thing? All blocks, paragraph blocks, headed blocks. Okay, there's different object types. Yes, retrieve block children. Can we just ask for the... So I guess everything is considered to be a block, right? So if we do that, and if we say, okay, blocks, say if I just ask for blocks, will that work? Let me just make it this way. Invalid request URL. Okay, so just blocks is not valid, but what about children? What if I ask like the full thing and could not find block with AT? So if you just watch this on 1.5x speed to catch up, why would you do this to yourself? Sounds like you're loving this API so far. I mean, they weren't kidding when they said it's a beta version, because so far nothing really worked, to be honest. It's a bit weird. Like, it does query the... So this is the only method that works so far without any additional parameters, but it doesn't actually return anything. Remove the dashes. I mean, we can try that. Blocks. Let's see. Do you think the dashes is the... But they use dashes in the examples, right? There they are. So, okay, so they add dashes themselves, actually. Interesting. So you can both use or remove dashes. It doesn't actually matter. But still, it cannot find it. So, wait a second. Where is what? Oh, it actually put it on one level below. Is that a problem? So if I delete this, we have this database page now. Right, okay, so let me just do that. Oh, Jesus Christ, why does it have to be so hard? Okay, databases. Let's try that. And it's just empty. Oh boy, block ID. Shouldn't the block ID be the block ID of your space? Assume that is the one of their space. You think so? I mean, we can try. I've already tried just about everything. So where was my DevTools? So within my space ID, so they have this get spaces method that is, I guess, internal. So there is my space. Okay, let's on space ID. I honestly don't even know if it's worth committing any of that, because it's like none of that actually functions. Okay, let's see. So if I say, hey, here's my space, right? So no, it does not find my space. It just doesn't exist. I mean, this is a test page, right? So get pay query collection. Okay, record map block collection. Okay, so I guess the collection, this is the ID of that page, right? No, or maybe yes. They have so many different IDs. It's just crazy. Okay, let's try this. Is this the correct ID? Whatever I put in there just could not find the block with like what are my permissions? What am I missing? Is there like... Okay, let's see the authentication. Maybe I am just missing something. Notion SDK, yes, authorization guide. Let's see. Single workspace or oath. Learn about implementing right authorization. Overview. Notion API uses bearer tokens to authorize blah blah blah. Integrations are granted access to resources which users have shared with the integration. By users, oh, so you have to explicitly say that this, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay, so that should have been a separate step in documentation, right? So when you open that, the first thing, it should be like, hey, before you begin, yes, you create a workspace, you create an integration, share. Oh, it is there. It is there. It's just like, why is it not? Oh my God. Okay, so how do I, wait a second. Sharing permissions for you. A user must share specific pages with, that is the weirdest workflow I have ever seen. Okay, so I literally go to the page, I click this, I say share, and then where do I, there's the integration. What? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm guessing now we're gonna actually start seeing the data, right? Okay, this is the, this is definitely the wrong URL now. So this is our databases. It's still empty. Does that mean I have to share all the nested things manually as well? So does that mean if I go here, no, it is shared, right? So it seems like this access is based on test page. Yeah, okay, so it is shared. So the nested pages are, no, nested pages are automatically authorized. So that's good. That's not like, at least this part is working fine. Which means we could try to get that, the page by ID, right? So this is our block. It works. Okay, so you have to manually share the page that you want to use as the entry point, I guess. And oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, okay, this actually works. This is the page, but we don't actually want that. We want, so we want, I guess we want, since we want a website, what we want to do instead, I'm gonna, I'm gonna move that over here. Where did you put it? Oh, there it is, the test page. Okay, so we can, we can actually do that, right? So we can kill those things. We can actually have a database of pages. Can I drag you up here? Thank you very much. Okay. It's not rubbish, but the documentation, like, that should have been stressed a lot more. And I feel like they, hey, you know, you like create integration, authorize, and I think the only place it mentions you have to explicitly share it is like here, and then briefly in authorization. It's just not basically explained good enough. I guess, I mean, maybe it's the problem that I'm streaming and not reading everything good, like detailed enough. So if I would spend a bit more time reading, I would probably not make this mistake. But yeah, it should have been stressed a lot more over here. And I don't know, like where this definitely basically should be a big message that says, hey, unless you share your stuff with Notion API with your integration, you will not be able to query it, right? I kind of understand why they did it. So it's sort of the access control in some form, because they don't really have any other access control, right? So just as they said in the one of the pages, there's no real access control. You either share it or not. So I guess this is sort of how it works. Yeah, it's like that joke, right? Why read the documents for 5 minutes when you can brute force stuff for 5 hours? This is exactly what we did here. Okay, but fine. So theoretically, this databases thing should now be working, but it doesn't. Did I? Oh, wait a second. Did I share the database? Actually, I think I didn't, right? Yes, I didn't share it. There we go. So theoretically, now we should start seeing the database, right? And invalid JSON. Okay, that is new. That is new. Okay, so theoretically, we shouldn't need any of that now. We should be able to see. There we go. Okay, now it works. Cool. So I finally, I shared the top level database with it. We'll finally see it as the structure. Okay, so how do I, so I see the properties. I see the title. Wait, are you telling me I have to separately query? Oh, I guess this is the list of databases, which makes sense, right? So I guess, yeah, sure. Okay, so let's say database ID. Okay, so there's our get databases. That's very fair. Okay, database. All right, we're slowly getting there. Like it's get database. Okay, let's provide ID here. I guess I'm gonna export this. So we basically hard code the ID. And how do we get that? Okay, so I'm gonna close the client as it has even less docs than their actual docs. Retrieve a database. That's what we want, right? So we don't care about querying. It's not going to be that large for our use case. And this is exactly what we want to do. Okay. And then this is our ID. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to say get database. And then we're going to say ID, database ID. Okay. Cool. So theoretically, now that we refresh this page, we should see our database over here. Object database ID created last. Okay, so you got some decent information here. We get the title, we get the properties. Where are my values? What? I have questions. Wait a second. So is this thing, is it because I moved it or something? How do I access the page now? Hello? Open. Okay. Test page, yes. So can I kill? So I guess I don't really need this database. I can kill that, right? Just no. Okay. How do I remove the whole database? There we go. Delete. Okay. Tags. Okay. So you got like this is the properties from the database. You can add some comments, which is kind of handy. And this is shared. Okay. So the value should be there. Hello. Let's add some tag, I guess. So why are we okay, we got options. Okay, so this is the tags. So this is, I guess, collection of all the tags. Team has questions. Okay. How the hell wait a second. So retrieve a database. Retrieves a database object using the specified ID. Okay, let's have a look here. They have the name, description, in stock, food group, price, number. Where are the values? Is that query a data? How is query? Why do they have two? Okay, identifies a notion. Okay, this is the Notion DB. What does this do? Gets okay, so they have two different methods. One retrieves a database metadata, which is exactly the same as in the list databases. And the other one is a query database that gives you the values for some, I mean, I guess. I'm going to assume when you get the database, it only gets the object, you take the ID and then query it. Yes, you are assuming correctly. And it just like, why have two methods when that could have been in one? Like, I guess there was some design, like probably this is their representation of how they store it in the backend, but that's just feels weird. Like, I guess if you wrap it into a nice enough client, it's not going to be that noticeable, but yes, I think I know why it took a year to build like 11 methods to query things. And that's not even all of the primitives they have on the backend, right? So this is like, oof. Okay, and what the hell is that filter clause? JSON, so you send a JSON as a post request in a body as a filter that is filter right, let's give it a shot, I guess. Okay, so instead of this thing, we need to do that. Okay, so we do ID and then we do query. Okay. Query also takes, okay, authorization bearer, something we did. I guess we should probably add content type to all requests because we are asking for JSON everywhere, right? So that's a good idea anyway. Now then, yeah, filtering. Okay, so how do you body? Yes, we do body. Okay, cool. If it's present at all. Okay, yes, right. So oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so how do we do filter? Filter. So filter or property in stock checkbox equal. So they have basically their own DSL? Question mark. So can I just send like a filter that's basically empty? Can I just say, okay, filter empty. So don't filter, just give me everything, and then sort, don't sort. I honestly don't care about sorting right now. But yeah, it feels like you would basically need to spend time learning Notion to do anything like decent with that, I guess, but this is a mess. Cannot. Oh, right, method. Okay, so right, that is absolutely correct. Method. So if we have body is not undefined. Yeah, I guess if we have body, then we do post. Otherwise, we do get. Just do it simple for now. Okay, error parsing JSON body. Question. Okay, wait a second. I do need to provide. Oh, right. Wait a second. I need to stringify it, right? So the fetch doesn't actually do that on its own. I always forgetting that fetch doesn't do like 200 different things that you have to manually do. Body validation failed. Filter or should be defined. What? I'm sorry. What now? Are you telling me I have to give it some filter for it to work? So now it complains that I need to fix one. Okay, so it's either and or body title filter should be defined, body text filter should be defined. What if I want everything? Jesus Christ, this is a mess. You can try it VS Code plugin for testing API. I mean, thank you for mentioning this, but I just prefer to send fetch requests. That works fine usually. It's like I'm not a big fan of Postman or any other plugins, basically. Okay, querying a database. Filter objects. Compound filters. How can I say just give? Can I just remove it? Like, can I just say like, hey, don't actually do anything. It's just send an empty body, right? We just want a post request. That actually works. Okay, so you have to, if you don't send a filter, it has to be completely removed from the body. Okay, cool. That works. That works. That's already a good start. You've stringified it, so it's the string undefined. But no. I mean, it would be an object, right? I think. Is it? Wait a second. So if I go here, JSON stringify filter. Is it? No, it is not undefined. See, it's just an object, so that's perfectly fine. It's not my. No. Don't do this to me. That wasn't my fault. That absolutely was not my fault. Anyway, this is now works. Hey Chandel, we are trying to use Notion API, and it's not going well. Let's just put it this way. We did figure out how to query the database of pages. Again, what the hell does it return? Why does it return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects? What is this? I'm pretty sure this database has literally one. Oh, I guess, is it because there are empty values? Is that why? You know? Yes, there you go. Okay, so we deleted this, so now we should see only one object, right? Yes. Okay. Right, cool. We're good. We're good. Things are happening. That's not completely terrible. Okay, so let's see. Let's rename this to page. I don't know if we need tags. Let's just leave them for now. So if I refresh this now, we should see this as a page. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, so let's see. I guess we want to extract pages, right? So we got this results thing. Okay, const pages is gonna be database info results. What is their properties? Okay, results. Okay, so for each result, so each result is basically a row, right? And then const. From row, we will get columns, which is gonna be row properties. Okay, I'm getting there. For databases, Airtable is better, I gotta admit. I never actually worked with Airtable, to be honest, but at least, you know, it looked kind of nice. Like, I always end up judging the technology by their developer-facing API, and as much as I don't like to say this, majority of them are freaking abysmal. Like, there is very, very little number of companies who actually do developer-facing APIs good. It's just like I mean, I guess it's not their core business, so it's understandable, but it just makes me sad. Okay, so we got the properties, and right, so properties, it's actually object keys, right? So it's an object of properties. We got the keys are columns. Okay, the title is an array. Title, yes, it's an array. And, oh, okay, because they have this annotation, plain text. So it basically says you if it's bold, italic, strike through. That is the weirdest way of encoding the text formatting I've seen in quite some time. Right. Okay, GitHub. Yeah, GitHub is fantastic. Like GitHub API is just majestic, basically, at this point. Who would you commend? GitHub is amazing. Reddit API is actually surprisingly good, but I mean, again, I just queried it for like reading only. Twitter API is not bad, although, they gutted it quite a bit in the last 10 years or so. When they started, it was just incredible. Like the live stream stuff you could do was super fun. Now it's just like the pale shadow of what it used to be. But yeah, I guess, with the heavy load they face, it's not a surprise. What else? Twitch API is not bad, actually. So we did a few live streams with that, right? Discord and Telegram APIs are pretty great, both of them. Like, not 100% good. Google API is, how do I put it? It's quite well documented. But the API itself is just weird. Like some of the places is just like, why would you design it in this way? It just feels like it was designed backwards from time to time. But I guess, that comes from having a incredibly large infrastructure. We have to provide a front-facing API. It's good enough, but it's not amazing. Let's just put it this way. Yeah, Twitter killed. I mean, they practically killed the whole ecosystem, right? There's like 2.5 clients, third-party clients that are still remain, which is a bit sad, to be honest. Okay, so we got this. I mean, we're only interested in page, really, so I guess we don't care about that. I guess I can just say that, right? So page data. Now, question. I have another question. So here's the thing, right? So we got this, we got the database from there, right? And there's our results, and here's our page property. Is that the? Yeah, this is the page. So what? I am so confused right now. So basically, there are your properties of a row, right? That link to say here's the page property, here's the tag property, but the page link itself is tied to the whole row. What? I need a Jackie Chan meme here because like, wow, what? I would expect this to be like over here under the page because this is where it's visually, right? That makes sense, right? I'm not crazy. Like I'm not just going insane here. But instead it linked as a what if I have to, wait a second. Wait a second. So second page. I am now very curious as to how they will handle it. So we have a second page, right? And I'm gonna just say, apparently I cannot add a page here. How do I add a, delete that. So, how do I add a page here? God damn it. No. New. Okay, this is a page. Okay, second page test. Let's call it this way. Hello, second page. Okay. It literally, okay, so this is why they only link it to one page. They don't allow you to put the second one in there. You literally can't. All right, that explains it. I guess we don't need that. Jesus Christ, this is such a mess. Okay, anyway, coming back to that. So we got, okay, so we got this ID link. Right, so we need the const page. I guess we gotta extract it, like it's literally row ID, right? This is what the page ID is. And then you got the page name, which is row properties page. Yeah, of course, that's not gonna work. Surely those columns are metadata about the page. I mean, the columns can be anything, right? So you can literally create any column, but only first column, it seems like, can hold the pages, which is like, I guess it's fair, but I thought it's flexible enough to basically accommodate any data type. I guess no. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. For our purposes, just having, honestly, I mean, we don't even need tags in this case. We just need one structure. So this is gonna be our, no, we actually do need, we do need tags. Where's the tag? Multi-select, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be a home page. And then we're gonna create a set. So we basically, what I'm wanna do is I wanna take this database. I want to create the nav bar using the pages we have there, and then I want to use tags to categorize the pages within it. But it feels like it's not gonna be. But anyway, let's let's try to finish at least something here, all right? Because this is, oh my god. Okay, so page title, and then it's an array. Why is it an array? That's a really good question. Yuri was like, Aaron, I think you were saying why the title is an array. That is a very good question. Why is it an array? Is there like, do they support, like, they know there's only one input here, so you cannot, it doesn't seem like you can do internationalization or anything like that. Why is that an array? I can, like, okay, so if I say add cover, yes, let's make it, well, whoops, that's a wrong button. Let's, if I add cover here, yes, yeah, that's fine, that works. And if we add icon, okay, does that mean the icon would go in title or something? No, it doesn't show it here. Ooh, oh my god. Okay, so I guess title, like title from 0, just to make sure that it actually exists. And then, what was it, text, I think, right? Yeah, plain text. Let's just take plain text. Right, so there's the return ID, page ID, title, page name. Okie dokie. I guess I'll just do that for now so that we can see. Yeah, okay, so there's our ID, there's our title. That is weird indeed. Like, I have, that's a very big question. Why the hell did they decide to make it an array? Like, I understand this complex structure, right? This object, because they're like, hey, we have this is the type of a title, also page type. Like, okay, this is not page specific, this is actually the column. So I guess in some cases you could have like more complex things there. But why is it an array? I have no idea, to be honest. Okay, and I guess let's extract tags here as well. So tags are gonna be row properties tags, right? Multi-select, apparently. Multi-select map item to, I guess we just want item ID and name item name. I mean, I guess we could use all of them, but I don't really care about colors. Tags. Okay. Into production it went. Well, yeah, I mean, it honestly, like, I don't want to diss any developers working on Notion. I'm sure there was quite an endeavor to make this work, but holy shit, do I not envy you guys. It just looks painful, honestly. Even imagining what kind of effort went into making this work, I feel sorry for you, really. Get the first item from an array. I love to use find boolean. But I mean, if you want to get the first item, like, we're literally just interested in the first item. We don't want to find anything. And if it's not there, then it's okay. We just skip it, basically. So optional chaining is more than okay here. Find boolean would actually have caveats, right? So it will not work with null and undefined and 0 values, for example. So you will, if your array is numbers, this will actually find the second item, not the first one. So be careful about using that. Okay, so we got our pages list. Okay, how do we go about this? So this is the database, right? The problem I see, so what I was expecting basically is that there would be a way to request a page in a HTML format, because I mean they already have it, right? So we're looking at this page. If I open it, this is already HTML, so they already have rendered that, right? So I was hoping I could basically say, hey Notion, please return this to me in HTML. I can just throw it into the Next.js and render it. But apparently that's not gonna fly. Okay, well let's write a get page method. Export const get page. Okay, so we got this thing. Okay, const page info await send request URL. So in this case, the URL is that. Okay, ID. Turn page info. Okay. So we got that. That is oh yeah, right. I still call it get database. Well, it actually get pages. No, wait, that's correct. Right. So this is pages. Const data is, let's make it from pages for now. So I'm just gonna create this new object. Okay, and then we say page info. We're gonna just say await get page. ID is gonna be pages from 0 ID. And I'm just gonna say page info over here so that we can see what it returns. And oh right, I forgot to make it async. Sometimes I feel really sad that the slint stopped working from the global config and basically requires the local installation, because I always forget to do that. I'm guessing they basically rebuilt the entire backend of Notion before working on the API. Might be. I'm in a year of time, but yeah, this just feels rough. I honestly, it's just terrifying. I bet the serializer is the same for all the related metadata to page and was too hard to overwrite. That's actually a very, very possible assumption. So that might have been the case. They might have had just some really weird internal structure that was really hard to use, to serve to basically third-party developers, and this is why they had to re-engineer the whole thing, right? I mean, I'm not saying new structure is a lot better, but at least it's kind of readable-ish. Okay, so we got our page info that... do we have to query the page as well? Okay, retrieve a page. This is what we're doing, right? There's the properties. How do I get the blocks? Oh, it has to be block children, right? Okay. So it's not actually, I'm using the wrong API method. Okay. That is perfectly my fault. So this is what we need to use. I'm sorry, I probably missed that, but is that a secret or a super secret or can be publicly used? What do you mean? Which one? You mean the API or what? What? Discuss. What are you talking about? You have to clarify a bit. API oath. No, it's not like the secret that I've used. So you just generate your own. My secret will only work for my Notion workspace. But yes, it should be secret theoretically. Like I probably will regenerate it after stream just in case. But yes, this is this should be your secret, not mine, because it's tied to a specific workspace. Okay, so we get the blocks. Right. So okay. So what do you mean type unsupported? What is that? Oh no! Oh no! What now? Oh, Jesus Christ, Notion API. What is type unsupported? Wait a second. Okay, wait. Type text. Okay, so they have the text here. I guess they haven't used the type unsupported blocks in the examples, right? So wait, what do we have on this page? Let's have a look. So we got the page. We got the hello, this is my test page. Do we see that here? Hello, this, yeah, so there it is with the formatting and everything. It should be... There's actually no indication that this is a header. So how the hell am I supposed to render that? They are literally missing indication of headers. Oh my god. This is such a mess. Jesus Christ. Okay, so then there is another paragraph which is empty. Yes, we got that. Then we got an image. Is that what is... Yeah, so images are unsupported. So I guess we cannot get the images. And then there's empty block and there's more text. Okay, so right, I guess we can just wrap the stream up because none of this works. There's no way to know his header. There's no way to know any formatting aside from the basic bold, italic, strike through, underline. Question, you can do that, right? So you can make like one word italic and the other one bold. How? I am now very worried about refreshing that. How will it? Okay, okay, this is why title is probably array as well. So what it does, it splits it by word, and then each word has a separate annotation formatting. This is why it's array. That explains it. That kind of makes sense. But yeah, Jesus Christ. It's okay because it's beta. Well, I mean, yes, but with the, yeah, that's alpha. That's a prototype, I would say. Header is the first item, but like, how do we know that it's a header, right? So like, it's a text. I guess paragraph is what they call it. So let's see. Maybe this is how they call it. So paragraph, header, test header, okay. Header 2, test other. Is also the fact that there are basically no docs describing any of those blocks. So you basically have to sit and figure out how does this work. So where is, okay, so heading, okay, so they have the heading and then there's the paragraph, test page. Yeah, okay, so they do have at least some, but yeah, this is such a mess. I mean, I will commit that anyway, because why not? We spend time suffering through that. I gotta commit something, I guess. Yeah, but this is just, oof. I guess coming back to that after, I don't know, another year would be interesting. Okay, let's see. Did I not commit my token? No. Git commit basic Notion API interaction. It's a mess. I'm just, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Jesus Christ. It makes sense, but wow, yeah. I mean, it's always like, I feel very, very sorry for all the engineers who had to do that basically and work on that. And it feels like it's if they retain, so if they rebuild the whole thing and now they can iterate faster on that API, then in a few months we should see a very cool and polished product, right? But if it's the same complexity on the back end and they just basically, it took them a year to work around it, then we're probably gonna see something useful in 2 years at the best. Oh my god, but this is style of API makes me very nervous about what happens to the database that have hundreds of thousands of entries of lots of blocks inside. It's very verbose. But that's fine, like it's not necessarily bad. I mean, the blocks themselves are not too big, right? So this is okay. Like I wouldn't say it's bad. Although, yeah, there are probably easier ways of storing that and modifying that. I'm just thinking, like, if there's any practical reason to store formatted text in this way instead of, like, literal rendered HTML or Markdown or whatever, right? Because, like, inline annotations would probably provide the same amount of metadata than this, maybe storing links separately or something, but this is just like, oof. I don't know, man. This is rough. Okay, but yeah, let's. I guess let's just. Let me just create a README file and push this, and let's just wrap it up here because no, I do not want to touch it again before they actually finish this and ship something that is at least kind of reasonably usable, I guess. Oh, Jesus Christ. I did not expect this coming to try out Notion API today. Waste of traffic. No, I mean, I wouldn't be that harsh on it. And it is a beta version, right? So it's like, it's all fair. I mean, again, I wouldn't call it beta, but early access or whatever you want to call it. It's where it works. It's very early on. I don't think you can. I mean, I guess if you would spend hundreds of hours, you could probably even build a website builder out of it. But yikes. Yeah, it's like literally at this point, if we go to the unofficial. So there is unofficial Notion API. There was even unofficial Notion render that literally allowed you to drag in stuff and render it from Notion public pages in like 3 commands. Wait a second. Node.js. Yeah, I think it was either this one or this one. I remember seeing it. Notion token. Blah, 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 blah. Where was it? API change log. Wait a second. Was there... I think there was a React... even a React client or something. Notion node. I honestly don't remember. I remember seeing a library that basically allowed you... Yes, there you go. React Notion X. Exactly. This one. I think this one. Yeah. So literally, there you go. You get the Notion client. You feed it the page ID. Public page ID. Doesn't even have to be... You don't even have to authenticate or anything. Then you get this record map that is, again, some internal... You know what? Wait a second. I now have a question. So if we go to Notion... If we open that page, right? So we open DevTools. I want to see how they store the data they query, right? So if I reload that, let's have a look. So there's the spaces. We got the block. This is like it's, yeah, okay. We got permission. So there's a lot more properties, which is fine. We got the space. Got the pages. Okay, so this is the pages. Get public page data. Okay, that's not it. Load yeah, there you go. There's the record map, right? So this is what the unofficial API is using. There's the collection and collection page properties, name, schema. Okay, so if we kill all of that and if we open the actual page, set page notification, record page visit. Okay, so there's like a ton of metrics going on, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. Get page visits, sync record values, get page visits, sync, get page. No, wait, that's page visits. Record load cache. Yeah, there you go. There's the cached page chunk, right? So this is the page, the actual page value, and so this is our whatever view IDs permission. Okay, so I guess collection view. How does it link it? That is like, who the hell designed this? It is... I have so many questions about the way this API is designed. Like even the internal one. How do you even use that? Properties, title, some more text. Yeah, okay, so this is, there you go. There's the value and there's the type. There's the parent block. Yeah, okay, so it kind of makes sense. Let me expand the values. So I guess this is one of our property. Yeah, so this is the header thingy. This is the text that says, what does it say? I don't know what it says. It doesn't have any text here, but okay. Or maybe it's the empty one. Property style, hello, this is my test page. Okay, so this is our header actually. It doesn't seem to contain any styling here. So I guess the style, they store the styling somewhere else. Is it like stored here format, table properties? No, that's something different. Collection, is it in collection? Where do they store the styling for objects? It doesn't seem like they query it separately or anything like that. Cursor, okay, the cursor. Yeah, but anyway, this is like this unofficial API. You know what? Okay, just a second. So I'm trying out official and unofficial Notion Api. Okay, custom materials for Notion Api and Next.js. Where's my link to the video? I guess it should be in Discord. I'm just gonna copy this real quick. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is, you know what? Let's just, for the sake of it, expression of two APIs, official and unofficial. And Next.js integration. Okay. Notion API. Official Notion API. Yes, let's do that. So this is going to be our official Notion API. This is going to be where is it? What am I doing? Here it is. So we're gonna try to use that next Notion thingy now, React Notion X, and see how much better or worse it is. Okay, that's good enough. Git add git commit add basic readme. Okay, let's try. I mean, we don't really have much to lose, so let's try an official API, shall we? If this thing works better than official one, I swear. Okay, how do I install it? What is the package name? Package JSON. Name Notion. Repository Notion X. Is it literally just Notion? npm JS packages Notion? I was so excited to dig into it. I mean, you were telling me, man. Okay, that is definitely not it. Notion React X or whatever it was called. React Notion X. Yes, that is the one. Okay, cool. So it's just, oh, it was, did I just miss the, yeah, miss the npm install thing here? No, they don't have it here for some reason. Okay, interesting. Why is it in there? Eh? Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Please make it stop. No, you have to now look at me doing this. All right, we will have to force install it because it still depends on the old React. It should be fine. I mean, there's no, I think there should not be any breaking changes between this and the React 17. So, okay, sure, let's do that. Okay. Okay, no, I guess Notion, let's call it Notion page.js, right? And I'm just gonna do that, and I'm just gonna do that. And then we're gonna export whatever was the function T. I'm just gonna call it T for now. Okay. Notion API. Wait a second. What is this Notion client they're using it? That seems, is that, oh, so they are using, okay, so this is just the renderer for the record map. What is this Notion client thing? So you need two packages essentially, right? One which is rendering their data, and this Notion client. Oh, it's unofficial Notion client. Okay, cool, sure. Let's install it. npm install Notion client, sure. Whoops, that is a wrong button. Okay, Notion API, get page. Yeah, sure. That seems straightforward, right? So we literally just do that. Okay. I guess let's create a new folder, Notion unofficial. Let's just be on the nose with it. Why not? Index.js. And I guess I'll just put that here. So we don't really care about the rendering here. We just want that get page. So ID. Return record map. Like this, the fact that you can just do that with unofficial API is bonkers to me. Okay, and then we just say, okay, get page from unofficial, exactly. And we did get our, so this is database ID. So we need to create a public page, right? Which we can get. So I guess I'm gonna, okay, first of all, we're gonna copy this thing from here. Okay. And this is gonna be that. All right, and here we're just literally gonna say, so it returns the record map, and we literally just pass it to the page. If that works, I swear to God, if this works. All right, so we need to go to Notion and create a page now, right? So yes, not that page. Let's create a new page. Let's call it hello world. Oh no, you know I don't need to create a page, right? We already have a page. You can go to that database. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to open this page and open this page. I'm just going to drag. Can I not drag this page out? How do I drag this page out of here? I don't want it to be nested under move to. Yes. Move to private pages. There you go. Okay, cool. So I can kill this database because I don't care enough about it anymore. There's our test page with image, with headers, with everything, with icon. I'm not even sure if those will be pulled, but we're going to see. And this is our page ID, right? Oh, we need to make sure that this is public. Allow duplicating, yeah, okay, that's whatever. No indexing, copy link. Okay, I'm guessing it only cares about the ID itself. So we're going to find out in a second. All right, let's see if that works. If that works, then yeah. That's gonna be kind of sad. Okay, so cannot map or find. All right, the index is now broken, so that makes sense. Official DB, let's call it this way, and I'm gonna rename the Notion page to index so that we query the actual page now. Okay, are we working? Async is missing, is it? No, I think it is good. Yes, you are right. Async function, so that's gonna error out. You are absolutely right. It actually works. I'll be damned. Well, there you go, folks. That is pretty much everything you ever needed to know about Notion API. So at this stage, in this year, 2021, it is May 2021 or June 2021. It is better to just take unofficial React Notion client and React Notion renderer and use that instead of official API because, well, it actually supports all the things. And it even has the, what is happening to my email? It even has the zoom, but I don't know where it zooms it to. I think the CSS might be a bit broken, but that's a separate question. Oh yeah, there you go. There's styles that you have to include. Okay, so we need to wait a second. So that is a thing we should do. Next.js, where is the app? How does the app look? Custom app. Yes, so we need that, right? So we need that, and we need to insert the styles. So I guess they even provide the Notion-like styles here. We can kill that, all of that, we don't care. Just format that stuff and reload the page. I guess I need to rebuild the whole thing, right? Don't check how much funding Notion raised. Oh, I know, I'm well aware of how much funding they raised. And I mean, they didn't raise funding for the API, right? Default export, wait a second, what did I screw up? I mean, startup world is, especially in US, is kind of insane in terms of if you know the right people, you can raise money for the silliest ideas ever, even if you don't even have a product. And if you don't know people, you can have like the best idea and you will never be able to raise anything. I mean, that applies to all the countries, not just in US, but US, like with the amount of money the investors have in US, it's crazy what gets funded basically. I guess they want to fund the moonshots, right? So if you're going to invest your money and they're going to burn out in the startup, it's better to invest into something that has potential to explode like 100x or something than something that will grow at a slow and steady rate, which makes perfect sense. Right, I forgot to do export default my app. That is the problem. Okay, so that should fix it. And I think we should see some styling now. Right? Yeah, that actually looks very good. Jesus Christ. Don't make anything, just make money. I mean, that's the whole point of startups, right? Like they invest and they expect a return. The bigger the return, the better. And since majority of startups fail, they invest into a bunch of crazy ideas and hope one of them becomes the next Google, Uber, Coinbase, or whatever. I don't think it's fair saying that, you know, a lot of them are not making actual products. Like Notion is an actual product. The product itself is great. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm using it to manage my projects. I'm using it to write down my consulting tasks, my research tasks, my open source ideas, my current startup things, my BXJS things. There's an archive of all my things. The Notion itself is absolutely fantastic. The API they provide, not so much. Which makes me a bit sad, to be honest, but maybe I should just do the project based on the unofficial API. Just look at how good this is. It literally took us, I don't know what, 3 minutes to set this up? It is bonkers. It's just like, yeah. Oof, boy. This is rough. Okay, you know what? Let's just export name const. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know that you are not happy about the exports, but I am okay with that. Git commit add unofficial Notion API example works a lot better. Yes, I will do that in my comments messages. It's not as good as BXJS to-do list app. Yes, of course. Come on, BXJS apps are always great, right? Who doesn't like making to-do lists every other week? All right. Anyway, push. Yes, git push is exactly what I run every time I commit things. Jesus Christ. This stream did not go the ways I thought it would go. Are we good? Okay. I looked away for a few minutes. We started doing cool stuff. Did the unofficial API. Yes, we literally set up the whole unofficial API in like 3 minutes with just publishing one page and making it public. And this is what we have. It looks amazing. All of that works. And the code is like 3 lines or 4 lines of code. So if you go into the index, now there's a Notion renderer that renders the page. And getting the page data is just, hey, get page. Why did they not just take this, like literally hire the guy who wrote this package, pay him money to make it polished, and then maintain it? Here you go. You solved your API problems in like a month and some money given to the guy who wrote it. Sometimes this world is so freaking weird. I just can't. I don't know why, man. It's like, I mean, I guess there's corporate politics involved, most likely, especially in the startup that raised this much money. They can't just say like, hey, you know, we're gonna buy a guy who built an API already and just give him money to make it better. They need to justify the spendings or something, or maybe it's an ego, like, in early stage startups, a lot of people tend to have a very large egos, and more often than not, that results in some very strange decisions that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a very human thing, but you know, it just happens. Humans demand BXJS weekly stream. We are getting there. I still don't want to return to manually assembling things for BXJS weekly. But I am almost at the phase where I just want to jump every Saturday on a stream and chat about some of the news, because some of them are just too fun to not talk, basically. There's like, you know, stuff like, what was it? The new V8 unoptimizing compiler, which is just insane. And I would love to chat about that, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway. They needed an excuse to spend a few $1 billion. I don't think it's the, you know, they needed an excuse, but rather they like, hey, we can actually. It's the sort of thing, you know. It's what is it? The Yagni thing, right? Or not the Yagni. What is the other one? Not invented here, right? Not invented here syndrome. Yes, there you go. So it's probably that. It's like, hey, we have to build it ourselves. I think it's our product. We can do a great thing. And it's basically tribalism, right? While in reality, you could just pay a very nice onboarding fee and just hire the guy who built the unofficial API. I mean, he's been, or she or they, whatever, maintaining this thing for a year now. So it's a year old, and it's honestly, oh wait, that's no, it isn't. Okay, so it actually links to this repo. Oh, it's the same guy. He maintains the React and the client as well. Oh, I see. Well, have a star. This thing works amazing. Reinvent the wheel a couple of times in a year. Yeah, I mean, I think this is basically the sort of the that would be my guess. I'm not saying I'm right, and there might be way more complicated things going on behind the scenes that we're just not aware of. And it's sort of always in poor taste to assume the worst, and I don't like to do that. I honestly think that there's probably either some sort of internal politics what prevented that, or just the complexity in the backend that we don't see right now, where they had to re-engineer the whole thing. But then again, I don't understand why not just expose the API they already have and use, which seems to be working perfectly fine, right? Because this uses their API and it works. And yes, maybe the data structure is not as nice as, or I guess not, how do I put it? I wouldn't say their structure for the official API is nice. It's nicer than the record map thing, but it's still not easy to read. So I honestly don't see downsides here. Notion should acquire an official API, boom, problem solved. Yeah, this is pretty much what I was saying, right? So just hire the guy, pay him some money upfront for just purchasing the library, and then make the main maintainer of this thing, whoever is, I mean, you can look at the insights, right? Who has the most commits? Wait a sec. Contributors is what we want, right? Yeah, transitive bullshit. That's a great username. So there you go, transitive bullshit. Just pay the guy, hire the guy, and yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a bit mind-boggling, but there you go. Did I push everything? I think I did push everything. Okay, cool. That's basically it. Let's imagine the GraphQL in this case. Could it solve the problem? GraphQL, like, the problem is not the way you query the API, right? The problem is the fact that first of all, official API still doesn't cover all the internal concept they have. So you cannot query spaces. You cannot query, you still cannot get images from there for some reason, and a bunch of other things. And yeah, the GraphQL would not be a solution here. Like, it would be nice to have a GraphQL interface, actually. And I actually think that if they would provide a GraphQL endpoint there, it would force them to rethink their data structure, because the current structure would be absolutely painful to query with GraphQL. So they would have to change that. It might actually make them rethink it and make it nicer. Because, if they are rebuilding it and if they are making a nicer user-facing API, then come on, go an extra mile and make it even nicer than it is right now. Like, it's okay-ish, but it's not amazing. And I honestly don't see a reason to change it that much when it's it's weird, man. It's just weird. The schema is far too complex. It assumes you understand the implementation model. Yeah, it's not like, the problem is not even that it's just developer Notion. The problem is not even just the complexity. The problem is that they don't explain it. So if you go into like retrieve a block children, for example, right? So this is where the most complexity comes in. They give you the params, they give you the query, they give you the headers. Do you see a description of the results? Nope. And it's the same for all the other methods here, right? So the API doesn't describe results. How the hell, like, you basically just sit here and try to figure out, okay, so what are those properties? What do they mean? And how do I render that? And they don't provide any renderers or any examples or wrappers or libraries. And it's like, I don't know if it's a Swagger with some theme, because they don't provide any Swagger definitions. If they had a Swagger definitions, we could have generated the client ourselves. And they could have generated the client. I don't know if their client is actually a Swagger or not. Let's have a look. Example code. So Notion HQ client is what it was, right? Notion HQ SDK, yep. Is it Swagger? So packages. No, it seems like they literally wrote it themselves. Yeah, it just uses God.js, so maybe they don't even have a Swagger definitions, which again is like, if you are gonna do REST API and not provide Swagger or any schema definitions, like what the hell are you doing? Okay, like yeah, this thing is prototype alpha version, not even close to being beta right now, missing a whole ton of concepts. And if you were planning to use it, then please wait for another year, I guess, or whenever this thing is ready. This is not ready to use. It's just oof. Yeah, I guess that's it from my side. So if you guys have any questions, throw them into the chat right now. I'm more than happy to sit here and chat for a few more minutes. If not, there was almost 2 hour stream. That's actually quite some time. But yes, we can just wrap it up here and go do something. I don't know. Let's see after a year. Hope the review at some point again. Sure, we can do a review and check out how it goes in a year or so. Wise just noticed your donation. Thank you very much. As usual, highly appreciate it. All right, doesn't seem like we have any questions or suggestions. So once again, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned not to use Notion API for any business needs, especially right now. Yeah, all the code as usual is on the GitHub under building X with JS group. The link is in the description. If you missed the full stream, if you want to see me suffer through the API in the beginning, you can do so and watch it from the beginning. VODs are there. If you have any questions remaining, feel free to join our Discord chat and ask me there. We'll be more than happy to chat. And yeah, that's basically it from my side. So the plan would be, there is a new game coming out next week. So there's a Necromunda, which looks amazing, and it should be coming to GOG. So I should get my hands on a copy a bit early. I'm going to be streaming that. I am also planning to do a Twitter bot stream at some point where we're going to finally scrape the data from Twitter into the BXJS dev GraphQL API, right? So we're gonna have a nice list of tweets over here that we'll be able to query with GraphQL and finally start applying our machine learning. But yeah, other than that, I think that concludes the sort of the immediate plans, and we're gonna see how that happens. Unreal Engine 5 is in beta, yes, and it looks absolutely mind-blowingly cool. Like, man, I cannot wait for the games to come out that use it. It's so damn good. Like, if only I could get my hands on RTX card right now, my world would be complete. Like, the Germany has the most ridiculous, I mean, I think it's all the world, but we have the most ridiculous prices for RTX cards. It's like, I just want to buy any RTX card because I just want to use the, what do you call it? The DLSS, right? And even the crappy 2060, which was supposed to be like 300 or something, is 600. And if you want to buy like 3090 or whatever, it's like $3,000. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's just bonkers. Have you considered doing a newsletter? I mean, the idea would be once I sort out the whole machine learning thing and once I start doing the BXJS Weekly again, is to actually create a newsletter for it as well, where you could subscribe. So before sort of the GitHub releases were acting as a newsletter, right? Because the documents were there basically. But since we're moving to the website, which will generate those episodes, I was thinking that, yeah, probably set up the newsletter, make some of that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I honestly, if I can do it with a sort of hands-off approach, because I don't want to manage it manually, you know, then I would do it. If I would have to manage it manually, I would just nope out of it. So basically, I would do everything that can be automated, all right? Or everything that is actually fun. So like this stream was painfully fun. Let's put it this way. I wish you publish your Google Calendar or something to subscribe to streams. I don't really have a Google Calendar for streams as well. And this summer, the weather was so bad that it's really hard to predict when I will not have a headache to properly stream. But yeah, I will try to get back eventually to the schedule that I had before, which is like, you know, Wednesdays evening for development streams. Saturdays for BXJS Weekly and then games whenever. But we'll see how that goes. Yes, it is 2,700 euro for 3019. That is the cheapest option right now. And I don't think I've seen anything cheaper. There's like 1,000 more than it should cost, which is just bonkers. The sad thing is that the 3080 is not much cheaper. It's like $500 difference, which is just like, what the hell is going on? But yes, it's sad times. I'm just hoping the crypto market will just crash and we're gonna get some nice cards back in the market or something. But yeah, it's the same with, like PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. Those things are like, okay, that's not actually too bad. Like, what is the MSRP of it? It's like 500 or something, right? So 600, 700, 800 is not too much. But still, like, yeah, this just COVID screwed up a lot of things. Let's just put it this way: 4,000 euro. No, I'll just wait. Like my old 1070 is still chugging along quite nicely, and it's still able to play games. Like I'm a bit sad that I cannot accelerate the machine learning a bit more using the RT cores that the RTX cards have, but you know what, it's fine. I can wait. I can use the GPU servers or whatever for running that. But yeah, man, this is crazy year. Anyway, was nice chatting with all of you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued support. As usual, hope you learned something, and I see you next time, probably sometime next week. Really want to change my motherboard and CPU. Motherboard and CPUs are actually quite available, so do look into that. At least here in Germany, there are no problems with buying a new nice AMD CPU and motherboard. So it's only the GPUs are the problem. But anyway, I'm off. Have an awesome rest of the week or rest of the evening. Anyway, have a good time.